Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. You might not be interested in who won the race, but people do search for special moments, such as when Hamilton crossed the finish line on 3 wheels. There are some unluckiest moments as well, like this tornado, or motorcyclists, or some crash similar to a movie taxi. Stick around, as in today's episode, we have collected such 10 unluckiest moments in motorsports. Number 10. Crashing into a parking lot. No, this guy isn't looking for a parking spot. Then why is he here? It's Citron driver Chris Meek, and he was ahead of everyone else, but then things got messed up when he lost control of his car. Crashing off the track while he was in the lead on the last kilometer of the Mexican rally, he got into the parking lot.
7-second advantage, and then this.
He chaotically passed between the parked cars, hitting a few, but after this unlucky turn, he finally found his way back on track. The most surprising part here is that he even won the race. He was 13.8 seconds ahead of his opponent. Well, all's well if it ends well.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Number 9. Exploding tires. You might have seen firecrackers exploding, or even some fireworks blowing up in the sky, but have you seen several tires exploding? That's exactly what happened during this race. Back in the year 2013, in the British Grand Prix, there happened a completely odd situation. There was a real drama with tires, as 5 different drivers had a rear wheel blow-up. Lewis Hamilton was the first one whose car tire ruptured at the massive speed of 193 kilometers per hour. He drove an entire lap to get to the pit stop. Then comes Felipe Massa, whose car tire exploded, and he got off the track. This might be seen as a major incident already, but wait for the next ones. Jean-Eric Vergne's tire also blew off at the speed of 300 kilometers per hour. After this man, Sergio Perez and another driver even lost a wheel. What exactly was happening that day? Well, the F1 tire suppliers must have loved watching a race like this one. Before moving on to the next one, it's time for the best pick. What would happen if you stop at your opponent's area? We are pretty much aware that this would not turn out to be a friendly meetup. Well, exactly that happened during a race. In this video, a race driver can be seen stopping at the pit stop, but it turned out to be the wrong one. This driver is actually Lewis Hamilton. Back in the year 2013, during a race called Malaysian Grand Prix, he stopped at the wrong pit stop. But before anything could happen, he just drove off to his own stop. But the funny part here is the reaction of the crew staff, shoving him away. Their reaction is just hilarious. Number 8. Hitchhiking. You probably have never seen someone taking a lift in racing, but here you go. During a race, Lance Stroll, who was driving the red car, collided with another car driven by Sebastian Vettel. This collision happened after the drivers passed the finishing line.
After the race has finished, we're on the slowdown lap.
As a result, the front wheel of the car flew onto the roof of the front car and just got stuck there. This might seem funny, but the driver had to hitchhike to get to his own pit box. Number 7. Wrong drop. You might have seen crane fails, but we bet you have never witnessed this expensive of a drop. During a race, a crane got messed up and dropped the expensive race car, and of all places, in the middle of the track while a race was going on. We don't know what the crane operator must have been thinking. The Monaco Grand Prix safety crew had turned gray in the hair when they had dropped an historic F1 car from a crane in the middle of the race. This was a McLaren M23 worth more than $2.5 million. The marshals barely had time to raise the red flag to stop the other cars, as they were just so shocked. Could you be a little more careful, please? Number 6. Fight during race. You might think a professional boxing match was starting during this race. This happened during the Costa Rican Championship. During the race, a racer named Martinez collided with another racer named Calvo. As a result of this collision, Martinez lost his balance and got off from his bike, but he decided to cling to his opponent's bike. When they came to a stop, another odd thing happened. Martinez hit his opponent right on the helmet and just walked away. Well, cool guys don't look back at the explosions. Things didn't stop there. Calvo decided to take his revenge. He just ran towards him and gave a push. That's it. Unluckily, both of them were disqualified from the race for the next 2 years. Well, before moving on to the next one, it's time for another best pick. Have you ever seen a man running beside a car? You might have. But have you ever seen a woman competing with a sports car? Well, now you see. This incident happened at the Top Gear Festival, which took place in Sydney. They had the magnificent idea to make a Nissan GTR compete with the woman. Both the car and the woman could be seen at the starting line, preparing for the race, and the woman having a warm-up routine. And then the race began. To be fair, the woman did take the lead for a split second at the very start of the race, but there goes the car, leaving the woman behind, taking the lead. What's more entertaining was when they headed back to the start line. The car was driven in the backward direction. Anyways, the woman did perform well and received great applause and appreciation from the spectators. Number 5. Applied brakes at the wrong time. This happened during the Belgian Grand Prix. Back in the year 1998, Michael Schumacher was leading the race, but then an odd thing happened. Another racer named David Coulthard braked right in front of him. What would you expect from these sudden incidents? The front wheels of Schumacher's car fell off in this collision. But this man didn't stop racing at all. The guy just drove into the boxes without even slowing down a bit on the remaining 3 wheels. Well, his car was getting power through his anger. As he stopped, he immediately burst into Coulthard's garage, and he just attacked the racer. He accused him of an attempt on his life. During this fight, they could barely be split up. Number 4. Multi-million-dollar collision. You might remember that scene from the movie Taxi when multiple cars collided with one another. Well, let's see something that's even next level. This incident happened during a race on the Ghia circuit in Macau Grand Prix. Daniel Hunzadella crashed into a wall on the Ghia circuit. Luckily, 2 of the cars managed to get past him without bumping into his car. But it was not so lucky a day for the rest of the racers. The rest of the cars started crashing into each other. 1, 2, 3, one after the other. This resulted in 16 cars piled up at one position. The 911 car was at the front, which lined up the rest of the cars. Daniel seemed pretty frustrated. This was the most expensive pileup in the history of racing. Millions and millions of dollars of damage. Well, just 4 cars survived in this race from this terrible collision. So this race was stopped. Narrow road and a huge pileup of crashed cars with no way through. This couldn't get any worse. Number 3. Bike tornado. You must have seen racers falling off their bikes, or even bikes colliding with each other. But have you ever seen a bike tornado? Well, that's what happened during this race, when motorcycles started falling off on their own. During a race, the bikes started falling on their sides and just sliding on the asphalt. But why did this happen? Was it some supernatural force? Well, it turned out to be that in this section of the route, there was an engine oil leak. Because of this oil, the motorcycles were sliding off the track. As a result of this bizarre mistake, 13 motorcyclists lost control and flew off the track. Even after this unlucky incident, fortunately, none of the racers were seriously injured. And now, let's move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by a subscriber. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it to us. And who knows, we might even feature it in one of our videos. Number 2, the subscriber's pick. Our subscriber picture today shows a rider lying on the track after an incident. This happened during a race when this racer lost control of his bike. As a result, he got unbalanced, and his bike fell to the side. He himself fell on the track and went sliding to the ground off the track. This video actually seems funny, as the racers look like a penguin sliding off the ice into the water. Number 1, stay on your feet. This unluckiest, or somewhat funny incident, happened at Monte Carlo Rally. Back in the year 2017, during the race, Sarian Pernia's car got stuck in a ditch while he was having a turn. Random people at the spot tried to get his car back on the road, but staying on his 2 feet wasn't easy at all. While going towards his car, he fell 2 times on the road. Might be slipping due to the icy track. Well, this just wasn't his lucky day. And that concludes our list of the 10 unluckiest moments in motorsports. Comment down below to let us know your thoughts. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell icon to stay up to date with our latest videos. We'll see you next time.